Welcome to the Convergence Emergence. My name is Christopher, and today I wanted to talk about the convergence of community design and crowdsourcing information into the artificial intelligence, robotics, and energy storage space. And the poster child for that right now is a company called Tesla. And I want to give three examples that give evidence to how powerful crowdsourcing and crowd design is. So Elon Musk, owner of Tesla, had been using Twitter for a long time, as an influencer and to promote Tesla. And what that led to was a direct line of communication with customers. And they would provide feedback to Elon directly through Twitter. And what this enabled was the birth of a new type of journalism that had direct communication with not only the company but the owner of the company. So this was a rare thing throughout time to be in direct communication with the decision maker in the company and be able to have results come to the customers in their automobiles within usually a quarter, meaning 3 months. So, and a lot of the times it would happen the next week. And that's possible through making tweaks to the software in the car. And then just like you have your phone that has apps on it, and then the phone updates and all the apps update, the vehicle updates in the same way. And Tesla's been doing this for over a decade with extremely valuable results. So the Tesla community itself, which is composed of many different people, including institutional financial analysts, retail investors, which is you and me that can buy stock, the YouTubers and social media influencers. And now it's kind of spread into these other categories, like the people with full self-driving enabled in their vehicles have set up YouTube accounts also to, record data for people to see how well the actual autopilot is doing. So you're able to see millions of miles that have been recorded and put on YouTube already. So you can see how mature the software is. It's not perfect yet, but the YouTubers make sure you also see the warning lights that come on when you don't have your hands on the wheel. So this isn't like it's a full self-driving, meaning that you don't have to have your hands on the wheel. It's not there yet, but it's getting there. So we've seen this kind of expansion. And then there's this investor community that's built of the retail investors, that's you and me. And then those individuals have started their own YouTube influencer channels, which some have, 100, 500,000 million, subscribers now. So there's lots of word of mouth organic growth coming from the investor community itself. But what I want to connect here is the investor community would then broadcast on tweets that Elon would reply to that would say that a change in the software is coming because of a request that came in from a customer. So now we have this up to the minute reporting on functionality changes to the vehicle through software updates that weren't thought of by Tesla itself, by the people that are using the vehicle. So this enables what's known as community design. And you have to compartmentalize, because Tesla and Franz, the head of design at Tesla, they handle the functional design, what it looks like, the pieces that go into it, the hardware. But excuse me, that's the structural design. But the functional design can shift due to tweaks in the software. So functionality can change to the specifications of the customers based on software updates. So this is an incredible, insight. And one of the most powerful proofs that come from this is when Tesla first started mass manufacturing the Model 3 back in 2018. There was a wide swath of break-ins to these Teslas. Thieves would punch out the back quarter panel window and then get into the trunk and get into the car that way. And, the owners were like, going to Twitter, talking to Elon about it, but showing videos of, this is happening all over the place. What are we going to do about it? And then the Tesla team received this information, created something called Sentry Mode, which has motion detectors that will activate all the cameras on the vehicle if there's motion detected by the car. And then if there's still the individual still there trying to mess with the car, then this loud, boomy symphony will start to play. So it'll attract attention to the car. And what this did was completely eliminate break-ins to the vehicle. There hasn't been a reported break-in since the Sentry Mode in that fashion. So this is an incredible victory by the community itself, sending information in. Tesla knew there was a problem when all the videos started coming in and all the messages started coming in. But the ability to then create a piece of software that they can over the air update to all vehicles through the cellular lines, and then it's instantly activated and prevents break-ins from that point on. It's like that. There's not many things like that, that exist today, especially in corporation settings. So, but again, there's a lot of digital platforms that do participate in this type of community sourcing for sure. Just at the transportation level, affecting specific vehicles themselves, that's a rarity. So we'll look at the individual companies working on autonomous vehicles, electric vehicles, and then over-the-air updates, because all the legacy manufacturers are trying to do them, but even the data coming out now is like they're not pushing a lot of their recalls through over-the-air updates. Because they're not good with software. That's the problem. Tesla's great with software, and they started that way. Another cool piece is like the Tesla investor community is now starting to collaborate with the Tesla full self-driving community, meaning the YouTubers themselves are starting to collaborate and come onto the same broadcast at the same time. So because full self-driving just hit version 11, and that's the precursor to this mass rollout. And we talked about data in a few shorts before, but what this is showing me is that each piece of the Tesla community is becoming more valuable with each collaboration of all these other pieces. And that's a convergence on its own. And that's a beautiful thing to witness. And we're gonna find other companies that are doing similar things and broadcast on them for sure. But what I wanted to make clear here today is that when we're able to create a community that is not only believing in the product itself, but the people involved with creating the product and in constant communication with them, giving your feedback to them and receiving action on the feedback that you give them almost instantaneously, it's a great feeling. And then, like, famously, there's a gentleman who's a YouTuber who's from the Tesla FSD community. His name is Chuck Cook. That's it. And it's like the famous unprotected left turn. And Tesla received feedback from Chuck Cook through his YouTube channel and Twitter communications. And then they now coin that unprotected left turn the Chuck Cook turn. So Tesla calls it the Chuck Cook turn now because of the clout that Chuck Cook received during the broadcasting of those left turns before the deep neural net was good enough to actually do it like a normal human does it. That's been within the last 6 months. So I think it's fascinating. And I really like how the community itself goes into making the product better rather than Tesla. Tesla has their own structural design capabilities that make the product itself better, but then the software can continuously make the product better. And even some of the structural functionality like range and handling and stuff can be tweaked with the software. So that's the future of automobiles, and any company that's not at least engaging with this now literally is just creating an ICE vehicle with a battery on it, with so many different little computer modules in that car that are communicating with each other, but not with something that can update them all at the same time. So, it's a warning. It's a clear warning, and there's a lot more evidence of smaller things than Sentry mode. That's how people just go to Twitter, they tweet to Elon's account, not Tesla's account. And I know that Elon has people go through his messages looking for feedback coming in from Tesla customers. So that's another piece to this is instantaneous community sourcing and instantaneous feedback, and then being able to implement corrections and mitigations in real time instead of building it into next year's model. Sometimes it takes more than 1 year to get legacy automobile fixes into the innovation of the structural design, the component. So cool stuff, really cool stuff going on. And when you see a community this strong, giving their true opinions on good and bad of a company, but still believing so strongly in the product, it's a great thing. So just for future reference, there's a ton of contributors and Chuck Cook, Dirty Tesla, his name's Chris, he lives in Ann Arbor, Michigan. Cyber Lyft, and that's LFT, that's a gentleman that works for Lyft and does all of his drives on FSD. It's pretty cool. And then there's one called the whole Mars catalog, something like that. So those are some pretty good, but there's hundreds of them now. So you just search for it, you'll find it. And then the investor community, I listen to Warren Redlick, Galileo Russell, Herbert Ong, Stephen Mark Ryan, he's out of Australia, Electric Biking, and more. So just check them out, and they report on all the news that's written by journalists that have legit badges. These YouTubers end up with legit media badges because they report on the reports. So it's a growing legit journalist segment. So regular people, regular investors are turning into journalists. And it's a cool thing. So I hope, my hope for this channel is to be able to do the same thing, but with convergence. And Tesla's just one example. So let me know your comments, and if you got any below, and then any suggestions for future videos, because convergence is all over the place, and just anything you can think of. AI in education, AI in bureaucracy, energy storage, and nuclear wastewater. So, it's like let's expand the mind.